Hi, it's Jeff at the well again. It's Thursday, and we're working our way through the last week of Jesus' life as he heads toward his crucifixion, as we're thinking about Sunday and Easter and the resurrection. There are so many things we could talk about. The Last Supper, the Passover together, his time in the garden, his betrayal. We could talk about the trial that he went through. I want to read a couple verses from Mark chapter 14. We're going to begin in verse 17. When evening came, Jesus arrived with the 12. While they were reclining at the table eating, he said, "Truly I tell you, one of you will betray me, one who is eating with me." They were saddened, and one by one they said to him, "Surely you don't mean me?" "It is one of the 12, he replied, "one who dips bread into the bowl with me." It's so easy to just read that and to move on. But one of the things that strikes me when I read that every time is this. When Jesus says, "One of you will betray me," they didn't all turn and look at Judas. They didn't think, "Oh, it must be Judas." We all know that. When we read it, it says, even before this point, Judas is the one who will betray. We know that story. But when they're there in that room eating that Passover supper, and Jesus says, "One of you will betray me," their response is not, "Look at Judas." Their response is it me? Now, maybe they're saying, "It's not me. It surely is not me." But I read it differently than that. I read it as them actually saying, "Is it me?" And one by one they asked him, "Surely you're not talking about me." And if that's the case, then what that tells me is that even at this point, we know they're going to run away in a few minutes when he's betrayed. But even at this point, there are still doubts in their mind about how faithful they will be. I find that encouraging. Well, how is that encouraging? This is why I find it encouraging, because I have doubts. I struggle from time to time. I wonder whether this is real. All of those kind of things. Is it worth it? The disciples had the same kind of questions we did. They changed the world with the power of Jesus and the Holy Spirit as God worked through them. And when I think about that, the encouraging thing that I want to share with you is this. If you find yourself wondering, is it me? Am I going to turn away? Well, first of all, never be so arrogant that you think you could never fall. The second thing is understand, every single one of those guys ran away. Peter denied him 3 times, and yet they were all welcomed back by Jesus, and he used them to do mighty things. So if you're struggling, you have doubt, you've fallen away, you've wandered away, understand this. Jesus will welcome you back and will do amazing things through you. So let's never give up, because he went to the cross, he died, he was buried, and he was raised again. And through that kind of power, and through him being king of our life, we too can walk with purpose and meaning and joy. It's amazing to be a child of the King. We'll talk about Friday tomorrow.